Hey, good afternoon, Evergreen family. It's Dr. Taylor, school counselor. How you holding up? Hitting through fourth week of school already. I know it's tough. It's tough for all of us. This is so very different, but we are pushing through. Evergreen is doing a wonderful job. You guys are managing that are doing the hybrid program, those that are doing it online. Teachers are saying a lot of good things. So we also want to make sure that we're pushing out some of our social emotional content as well. So when you're not doing math and reading and writing and science, we're also working on the whole student, our whole self. So today I wanted to talk about something that often goes maybe not talked about a lot. And sometimes you will hear people say things like, "Ooh, that student is bad," or "he's always in trouble," or "he doesn't listen." So today's lesson, I wanted to read a story that kind of highlights a certain type of behavior and how sometimes people can look at it the wrong way or not look to help the student in the situation. And this story is going to talk to us about how a person can work through those situations with the right help, because oftentimes you'll hear the term mental health. And there are times in an elementary setting that we, along with the parents and outside sources, come together to help the student to put them in the best position for them to succeed, not only in school, but as a person. So the book we're going to read today quickly is called Shelly, the Interactive Turtle. Can you see that? Yeah. I actually learned of this book just last week, and it's become a favorite of mine. Shelly was a shiny green and black turtle. He was very handsome and very smart, but he was different from most of the little turtles in his classroom and in the pond where he lived. Notice that's him there. And then over here we got, as everyone knows, turtles are supposed to move very slowly and sit very still for a long time. But Shelly was a special little turtle. No matter how hard he tried, little Shelly just couldn't sit still for long. Sometimes he would crawl out of his desk at school, roll over on his back, and whirl around like a spinning top. He looks like he's having a good time. Sometimes he would get out of his seat and run around and around the classroom. During lunch, Shelly loved to make his classmates laugh by throwing food at them. I don't think the lunch lady would like that. Often the school bus driver would become angry with Shelly because Shelly had so much trouble staying in his seat and being quiet. Poor Shelly. Shelly probably would have some issues with some of the bus rules we have, but keep listening. It seemed that all Shelly ever did was get in trouble and go to the principal's office. Every morning he promised his mom, "I'll be good today," but every day something went wrong. Have you ever felt like that? Where you're always getting in trouble with the teachers or mom or dad or grandma, and you try your best, but sometimes it just doesn't work out your way? In the pond, which was his home, Shelly did not have many friends. Most of the other turtle children were not allowed to play with Shelly because of all of the mommy and daddy turtles thought that he was bad. Oh, now that hurts my heart. I don't think people really understood Shelly. Sometimes Shelly broke things. His mommy and daddy thought he broke his toys on purpose, and they got so mad at him. It hurt Shelly's feelings when people were angry with him or called him a bad boy. I want to be good more than anything in the world, thought Shelly. Notice, Shelly's aware of his behavior, but he's also aware that there's something going on that is causing him to always do these things. Shelly felt so jumpy and wiggly inside that he just had to squirm or shout or break something. After he did a naughty thing, Shelly would feel bad and say, "I don't remember why I even did it." I've heard that before here at Evergreen from a few people over the years. Shelly cried a lot because he wanted so much to be a good little turtle. One day his daddy asked, "Shelly, why do you keep doing these things? I tell you not to do so." Shelly said sadly, "By the time I think about it, Dad, what I'm going to do, I've already done it." We've all been there, but especially talking about some of our younger students, sometimes our actions get in front of our thoughts. But I love the fact that his dad is sitting him down and talking to him about it. Shelly was becoming so unhappy that he stayed in his shell most of the time. He didn't join in sports or play games at birthday parties. I'm afraid that the other turtles won't want to play with a bad little turtle like me, Shelly would say. Isn't that terrible? Oh, that makes me so sad. Shelly's mommy was so worried that she took him to see a doctor. The doctor looked at Shelly's eyes and throat and hit his knees gently with a rubber hammer to make them jump. He talked to Shelly a lot and asked him to draw some pictures. He even stuck lots and lots of wires all over Shelly's head with blobs of paste. So the doctor's checking everything out. It didn't hurt him at all, but Shelly sure looks silly, the doctor said. Shelly, your brain is filled with tiny cells which send little signals to each other. These signals help your body to do all of the other things that you do each day. The machine with the wires will help me to see if your brain is sending its signals the way that it's supposed to go. That looks like a whole lot going on there, but hopefully the doctor can figure out what's going on with Shelly. Finally, the doctor told Shelly's mommy that Shelly was hyperactive. That means just kind of busy. Shelly said, "What a funny word. I don't understand it." The doctor explained that hyperactive means that some little boys and girls have more trouble being quiet and still than others. So it's not that a person is bad. This is just something that they have to deal with. The doctor said, "You are a very good boy, Shelly, and your mommy and daddy and your teacher and I want to help you." Just hearing the doctor say that made Shelly feel so much better. I'm going to pause right there because sometimes even us adults have to remember, even if a student is getting in trouble, even if a child is having trouble sitting still or following directions, there's usually some underlying issues, a reason why. No one wakes up and just says, "I want to be bad today. I don't want to listen." So this story is a reminder that there's usually something going on underneath. Every week, Shelly went to a doctor called a therapist who talked to Shelly about things that made him feel sad or angry or scared. Every morning, Shelly took a little white pill. The doctor said that some children have to take medicine to help them calm down a little. Now, mind you, not everyone needs that for this issue. Some may need it, some may not, some may benefit, some may not. This is why it's important for the whole family and a doctor or a school person to all come together to figure out what's best for Shelly and you if you find that you're dealing with feelings like this. Shelly still felt wiggly and squirmy inside a lot, and many times he forgot to raise his hand before speaking out in class. Every so often, Shelly would shout on the bus or get out of his seat. Look at this guy. He looks like he's not allowed to have a good time, though. He was still a little wiggly and jumpy inside, but he wasn't as wiggly and jumpy as he was before Mommy and Daddy and the doctors helped him. Shelly was not such a sad little turtle anymore because at last he knew that everyone did not think he was bad. He knew his family loved him very much, and as he grew, Shelly felt less and less wiggly and jumpy inside, and Shelly had lots and lots of friends. The reason that I wanted to read this story is we all learn at different rates, we all act differently, we all achieve differently, and sometimes you hear people say some things that aren't wholly accurate. So if you ever notice a student or yourself or one of your friends who's maybe a little jumpy or a little bit silly or wiggly, sometimes there's some things going on inside. If you ever feel like that, I want you to know here at Evergreen, you can talk to Dr. Taylor, Mr. Mateo, any of your teachers. We will reach out to mom and dad. We will all talk together and find out what's the best way for you to succeed at Evergreen. We don't want any of you to ever feel like you are a bad student, a bad boy, or a bad girl because of some things going on inside, and we can get you connected to the right people. So I just wanted to read that quick story because sometimes that's a topic that doesn't get talked about a lot. But if you're feeling a little jumpy, a little squirmy, a little busy, you're finding that you're always getting in trouble, even though you're trying to do good, I want you to think about Shelly's story. Talk to mom, talk to dad, talk to myself, and we'll get you where you need to go. All right, thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining Shelly. And until our story, have a great day, Evergreen.